the Emperor is not dead, actually, and The Last Jedi didn't matter, and he's here. And my favorite part about it is he wants to be Rey. Like, the Emperor's like, I'm going to be a young woman. And then he's like, strike me down and I will possess your body. And then she goes, never. And then she strikes him down. I'm like, what?
Yeah, and then kisses Kylo Ren.
Weird.
That was the Emperor the whole time was just like, that Han Solo is kind of hot.
Yep.
Nerdrotic.com.
We'll talk a little bit about my visit to Timcast IRL, which was a week ago. It's been over a week now. And it happened kind of quick. It happened very quick. Lydia, who is freaking fabulous, by the way. Every YouTuber who's doing podcasting at some point needs a Lydia. She is on top of her job like no one else. And she contacted me, asked me if I wanted to be on. I said, of course. And they flew me out there. Melissa met me. She drove down here, and we got her a ticket, and she flew with me because I hate flying. I can't stand flying. I'm very grateful that they paid for the flight. I don't want to sound like I'm ungrateful because that was brilliant. Just not the best flyer in the world, and doing that mask thing on the plane sucks. That sucks. Got out there. They put me up in a hotel, so when I did Friday Night Tights in the morning, I was in a Holiday Inn. He's in, I'll just say, I won't say exactly where, but it's in the state, because he said this publicly, so I feel okay saying it's in the state of Maryland. It's in the state of Maryland. I haven't been to Baltimore since I was like a kid. Didn't get to see much of it. It's out in the sticks a bit, and it's a huge compound. It's a huge compound with skateboarding ramps everywhere, indoor, outdoor, dirt bikes, guest houses, guard dogs, chickens. Yes, there's chickens. And when I first saw Tim, he was out feeding his chickens, hung out. When you get there, there's an artist there who draws a picture of you. You can sign it, and they put it up on the wall with all the other guests. I think that's fairly new. Got a tour of the house, and there's cool things like I'll say there's secret compartments. That's as far as I'll go with that. So there's like really cool house, like a Winchester mystery podcast house. That's how I would describe it. And that's how they described it too. The thing I was impressed the most with was the studio. That thing was tight. So I a lot of mental notes when I walked in there. I'm like, okay, I'm going to copy that. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to copy that. It was great. When we sat down, I thought that we would discuss like what we talked about, and we did, like right when we sat down about 10 minutes before the show. So it's a lot like Friday Night Tights. So I was like, okay, I'm not the only one. That's good. It's not like in these times, in current year, there isn't enough to talk about. There's always enough to talk about. There's always something stupid the government's doing, state government's doing, or federal. A school board. Hollywood does something stupid 2 or 3 times a day. Yeah, we had plenty to talk about. Yeah, I was a little, at first, I wasn't sure, like, when you sit down, especially when it's in person, it's very different in person. It's a little easier when you're on, the Brady Bunch StreamYards, and you can't rely on facial tics or tells when you can talk. You just have to figure out when you can talk with somebody, and you just kind of work that out, and it happens. This one is it's completely different when you're sitting down with somebody, and it took me a minute to figure out, like, they have a rhythm, and it took me a minute to figure out the rhythm, and the tell is like when Tim looks at you, he definitely wants you to talk. So figured that out, and you guys showed up in force. That was fucking brilliant. And hearing George in the was so great.
We got so many super chats. George, exclamation point. I'm not going to read all of them.
So many.
She says, George.
George is going to love that. That is brilliant. Yes.
I mean, there's a bunch of super chats saying the same thing.
Yes. That was so fucking great. And they were impressed with you guys. They were very impressed with you guys showing up. So I just wanted to pass that on. Thank you. You guys fucking rock. That was cool. So yeah, I played some skee ball. We chatted. We watched some Fox News on the big screen. They got a bar. There's a lot of actually pretty cool people there. It's a lot like an artist compound, except like no drugs. It was just a bunch of basically kids. They all had a purpose. They all had a job there. And it was an impressive operation. As far as Tim goes, Tim's Tim. He's the same way he is on his videos, as far as I was concerned. But I mean, I only met him for a very short amount of time. He was incredibly cool to me. And we had a lot of chit chat afterwards, which I'll if things come to fruition, I'll talk about, but I can't right now. But it was a good time. It was a good time. I'm glad I went. If any other content creator gets invited, I'd say definitely say yeah. Definitely say yes and go. It was weird seeing my face on the thumbnails. That was surreal. And it helped the channel, so thanks, Tim. Thanks.
Nerdrotic.com. Please subscribe.
If you like what I do here, please consider subscribing to the channel and liking and sharing the videos. It really does help. And if you did this with your favorite YouTuber as well, I'm sure they would appreciate it as much as I do.